teachers, in my judgment, on public school level, that are even teaching it. You got people teaching history and never educated in college to teach history. If they're teaching history, they're teaching history or civics or with an educational certificate attached to it. And so they teach these kids the simplistic notion: the 13th Amendment freed the slaves, the 14th Amendment made them citizens, and the 15th Amendment gave them the right to vote. Well, if you're not going to be any more comprehensive about that as far as the educational process is concerned on a high school level, then it's pretty understandable why people can grow up and not really know what these rights are all about. But except by listening to your show.
Yeah, but one thing is clear though, is that that there are a large number of folks who are not voting now. And
well,
what we're trying to do
might be
is
another reason for that, because they don't think that it's going to do them any good. You know.
Well, what could you say to somebody over the last minute and 30 seconds in terms of participating in the politics and the things from that perspective?
Well, you know, if I wanted to be, if I want to sanitize the whole thing and reach back several hundred years, I could rely upon the founders of the American Revolution and say that that's one of the reasons why they fought, because they didn't have the right to vote. I suppose if Parliament allowed them to have representation I suppose if England had allowed the colonists to have representation in the Parliament, you may not have had the revolution. But remember the mantra, the call for arms was taxation without representation. So maybe people owe that to their ancestors. Now, another reason, specifically like black people, they ought to vote because they ought to vindicate the loss of lives and limbs on the part of their ancestors who were lynched and killed and firebombed out of the houses for wanting to do this. And now having achieved this right, and not to use it because you're too lazy to get out of bed, that's an affront to the struggles endured by your own ancestors. So that's an obligation that you have to your own history.
Very good. And of course, Dr. Blackshear, let me thank you over the last 10 seconds for the excellent